It is 13 minutes to 2:47 here live on the stream, and I am joined by my last guest, who did also make the schlep here to the Lower East Side. Shira Kalish is founder of Tziporahs.com. It is a complimentary service for those wishing to help individuals going through illness and crisis through a unique website that connects friends and families from all over the world who want to spiritually and practically make a difference during a time of need through challah, tehillim, nourishment, and tzedakah by creating campaigns or joining existing campaigns for a friend or loved one. Hello, Shira.
Hi, Miriam. Thank you so much for having me.
It was totally my pleasure. Tell me how this started.
Okay, so this began when, unfortunately, my sister got a diagnosis of leukemia. She was actually 7 months pregnant, and without, just out of the sky. She was having a normal pregnancy, and unfortunately, she got this diagnosis, and thank God she's actually recovering nicely. She had a bone marrow transplant, and thank God for that.
Baruch Hashem.
Yes. And, all friends and family, we were all just dumbfounded. What could we do? How could we help? And I have to say that she lives in North Woodmere. Her community and the communities around it are amazing, wonderful. I can't say anything I can't say enough about her community. And, of course, it began to gather Tehillim groups and to gather 40 challah bakers at least every week and, to try to do something. We, as Jewish women and people, we want to do something.
Right.
We can't give her the medicine, but we want to do something. So, everyone was Facebooking, texting, and calling and trying to make lists. And there was, 17 lists going on at one time for Tehillim, for challah. And I'm, needing my challah one Thursday night. And I said, you know what? There has to be a better way of organizing all of everyone's efforts. And, what? I said there has to be a website. I did some research. There was nothing like that. Right. Existing. So, I contacted Michali Weinstein, who is of MLW Design, who is an amazing creative person. And
not to be confused with MLW, who's sitting right next to you.
Oh, okay. And really anything that she touches turns to gold. And she was amazing. She also hooked us up with a wonderful programmer in Israel, Jeremy Feldhammer from barefootmarketing.com. And I have to really give them kudos because I don't think that they knew the amount of work that would go into this when they first signed on. So both of you, thank you very much.
That's often what happens.
That is true.
You come up with an idea, and then all of a sudden it starts to play itself out, and you're like, I wish I would have just written a memo.
Yes, it turned from challah to then turning into tehillim, tzedakah, and nourishment, which is providing meals for the families while the person is going through their illness. And, it's really still, in early stages. It is launched, and our official launch is September 22nd, and we're very excited about that. We're actually going to have a launch party. It is going to take place September 22nd at the new Breezy's on Central Avenue, which is reopening. It used to be Ketsy's, and we hope to see all of you there. It's 7:30 to 10 p.m. But we hope that people use the website and visit the website, and there's even if you don't know someone to go and bake for, there is a bake for a stranger or help a stranger button.
That is, I have to tell you, that is probably my favorite part. There are two aspects of the site that I really enjoy. One is this idea of bake for a stranger. Because if you're a challah baker, and I am a challah baker, if you're a challah baker and you know that there are these groups of women out there who are part of mailing lists and email lists and are part of groups of 40 who regularly bake, and you want to be a part of that, you can donate, and I use that in quotation marks, right. Donate what you're doing anyway by clicking on that link and being attached or signed up to a group of 40 women so that group becomes whole.
Absolutely. And, some people feel that you can only bake for one person, but many of the rabbis that I have spoken to really believe that the more people davening for you, the better. So, what you have to decide what you feel comfortable with, but you can sign up for multiple campaigns for sure.
And it's funny that you bring that up because I have asked that question. I have been part of this group of 40 women and for, 6-7 years, etc. And we get our email on Wednesday or Thursday, and we know the name that we are davening for. It could be for a zivug, for a match, for a shidduch. It could be for a refuah. It could be for a lot of different things. And it was probably around the time that your sister was diagnosed, I asked a shaila. I said, can I be part of two parties, be part of two groups? And somebody said to me, this isn't a perfect science, but there are no downsides. And I said, all right,
that's right.
Sign me up. That was the easiest thing. So that's one thing I really like about the site. The other thing I really like about the site is your logo. It is a picture of the bird's nest, but the bird's nest is made out of challah.
Yes, yes. Toby Schwartz did the logo. She did a phenomenal job. And, yes, I am so pleased with it. I love how it came out. And it's, very calming that, one bird is sitting and one bird is helping the other, like, as, we feel like you are, Tziporah's nest, that you feel when you're in your nest, you're comforted. And,
right.
And that was really the feeling I wanted to, portray.
There's a maternal aspect to it.
Right.
And I also like your tagline, linking Tziporah's nest, linking the Jewish community through chesed. The global Jewish community.
Exactly. As I said, everyone wants to feel like they're doing something.
Right.
When someone close to you is going through a really hard time. So, you can reach out and do what you feel that you can do. If you don't bake challah, then you can even, and if you don't live near the person to bake a meal, to cook, you can actually send a meal. There is a link to shamash.org where you can find the closest, eatery around that person's house and send them food. And even it's such a nice thing to sign up for Tehillim and say it at night with your kids. I have started doing that, and I think it's a great thing. Also saying it for a stranger. And I really hope people take this to their children, and it's a really wonderful lesson to teach them.
It also facilitates the person who is far away, who lives in Israel, who lives in Australia, who knows someone or is close to someone who is going through some kind of an illness. It allows that person to not only be part of the process, let that person, the person with the illness, know that they are thinking of them, but also makes them feel proactive. And there are few things worse than knowing that there's a loved one that you can't help. This is your ability to be proactive.
Absolutely. This, I hope right now it's just in the beginning stages, but I do hope that this does get to, many different countries. And like you said, if you have a loved one that is, not close to you, they can feel like they're helping, even though they're not right by your side.
And the section on Tehillim, which I think is also very lovely. One of the parts of it that I thought was fascinating, that there's online and printable Tehillim available.
Absolutely. You can go on and you can easily print it out and have it at your fingertips and say it, at night with your kids. And yeah, absolutely. It's really, there's no excuse. Really, I could say to people, take 3 minutes less on Facebook and go on to my website and join and register. And you can really sign up for baking challah. If you're someone who bakes challah like Miriam, and I have to say I do make her recipe quite often. It is phenomenal. There's no other way to describe it. But, you can log on and register for 4 weeks at a time. So you don't have to go on every single week. I hope that people, realize that as they learn to maneuver through the website.
And I also noticed on your Tzedakah link that you've been working through root funding.
Yes, that is one thing I wanted to talk about. I'm very, very excited about that partnership. Yes, we have joined forces with root funding, which is a wonderful, wonderful way to raise money. And when you do press on the link to raise money for someone's medical needs, you will be directed to root funding. And it's an amazing way to get the word out there about raising the money, about really creating a campaign. And, I really urge people to go onto Tziporah's Nest and log on and go to root funding and just read a little bit about it. And I also have some information on my website about it. And it's an amazing way of getting the word out there for raising the money.
I happen to be familiar with it. I know it's a fantastic site. And unfortunately, we only have a couple of minutes left, but I do want to ask you about how the Kletsky tragedy prompted possibly an early launch for Tziporah's Nest.
Yes. We were really not ready to launch. Maybe we needed another 2 weeks till everything was, semi-ready to launch. And unfortunately, that terrible thing occurred. And Michali Weinstein, emailed me and said, Shira, we need to do this now. I know we're not 100% ready. We were probably about 75 to 80% ready. And she said, this is the time. Let's get to Tehillim, people to sign on and say Tehillim for him, and hopefully, things will turn out okay. And I said, Michali, that's it. We're doing it. And we did. And, people were very quick to sign up. I thank those people who did sign up. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way we all wanted it to. It was a terrible, terrible tragedy. But I'm glad that at least, we were able to somehow daven for him a little bit and for his family. But yes, it definitely pushed us forward a little bit, and I'm glad we were able to do it. I unfortunately it was a not a great thing that pushed us to launch, but I'm glad that we were able to do something.
Well, I look forward to your launch on the 22nd of September.
Thank you so much, Miriam.
And I thank you for coming, Shira Kalish, again, founder and founder and everything great about Tziporahsnest.com. I'm just going to read the website to you. It's spelled Tziporahsnest.com.
And I just wanted to add one thing, Miriam. When you are, someone who has just received a diagnosis, I wanted to say to you, please let people help you. Let people, allow people to help you in any way that they feel they can or you can allow them to. You may not want meals, but, let them, do the Challah campaign and the Tehillim campaign. And also the person who does sign you up, that you are considered the campaign manager, you can use Tziporahs Nest. You email from there. You have all your contacts right there in one click. You email everyone that's in the campaign to remind them to bake challah that week. And they're actually, by September 22nd for the launch, we will actually have email reminders so that if you bake, if you sign up to bake on Monday, by Wednesday or Thursday, you'll be reminded. Or if you sign up a month in advance to bake, to cook for somebody, you will be reminded 2 days before. So that's a really nice feature of the website.
And I think that's really good advice. Shira Kalish, thanks again for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Have continued hatzlacha.
Thank you very much. And everyone should use it. I don't want anyone to have to use this website, but it should be in the zechus of the refuah for anyone who does use it.
Amen. Amen.